Saarema, the island, whose name means the island without a name. It features in both local, Finnish, Swedish, Greek, and Roman mythology. You can see why only smaller ships can visit, as our little cruiser fills most of the outer berth. Cargo vessels use the former Russian naval base. Randall and I have again chosen to go on two separate outings to maximize what we can see. I have a visit to the capital, Curacao, and these buildings are pretty much standard for the city. We circle a natural inlet. There is a marina that we can see, but no big shipping infrastructure is visible. On the shoreline there is a whimsical statue of Sir Toll and his wife. Sir Toll was a mythical giant who protected the island. We visit the Curacao Episcopal Castle, built in the style found quite regularly in the northern Baltic, a solid square, while the moated land around it is shaped like a five-pointed star. Signs of the times. Health and safety have had a go. A no-entry sign with a 3-ton load limit. Wonder how many people are needed to make up 3 tons. Let's head into the castle, and I will leave you to look around just as I did. This is a purpose-built hotel just outside the moat to the castle, while this is a private residence with no indication whether it had any connection with the fort. Walking up to the town square, I now know where to go for the police, but I am a bit stumped by the next sign. Does it mean that you have to watch out for your purse, or that your vehicle will be taken away? Junkyard. Certainly what is on show is more ancient than modern. Randall would be familiar with the pram. It's of the type he was wheeled round in as a kid. Russian Orthodox church in a leafy, shaded, tree-filled yard. Interestingly, there are no cemeteries associated with churches. These are located in the forests outside town, where you're laid to rest in eternal peace among the trees and the wildlife. This memorial to all who perished between the War of Independence in 1918 through to their final release from the Russian yoke in 1990 is paradoxically near the Russian church. Decorated pavement to relieve the monotony of grey stone slab. On what has turned out to be a very hot day, with even the roads melting and being stamped with the patterns of the soles of people's shoes, I pass you on to Randall for his visit.
I'm at Kali, where a meteorite fell to Earth some 2,700 years ago. Outside the information center is a map of the island of Saarema, but I will not try and place this on the map. Saarema, and possibly the crater at Kali, exist in written Greek and Roman records around 700 BC. It is recorded as the island with no name, and with its meteorite crater may even be the mystery island of myth, where it is recorded that the sun fell down to the earth one day with great thunder. Fortunately, the next day the sun had returned to the heavens. Sounds pretty much how a people living 2,700 years ago would have described a meteorite falling to earth within their view. One of several pieces that fell in the area gouged a crater 100 yards across in an almost perfect circle and with the estimated force of the Hiroshima atomic bomb. It would have been seen, felt, and heard for some distance. The crater is filled with green-colored water, and the original depth is unknown. A wall about 15 meters high surrounds the crater, with no record of how high it might have been at the time. It is definitely confirmed as a meteorite strike. There is very little nickel on Saarema, but the crater and surrounding fields, and 8 smaller craters which you are welcome to go and look at if you have the time, have rocks found nowhere else in Estonia, with a 9% nickel content. Then on to Angler, where there are just 5 survivors of the 800-odd windmills that used to exist all over the island to grind grain. 4 are in the Estonian style, where the mill sits on a central pivot and the whole unit is turned with a bar fitted on the outside. The last one is in the Dutch style, where only the top cap turns. Sadly, we don't have a lot of time to explore, so I choose to visit the Dutch style one. Massive wooden gears, some needing restoration, and areas which you can see have already been restored. Associated with the windmills are a few Soviet-era tractors, real utility vehicles. My final visit is to the Lutheran church at Kaaja. It has been here since the 1500s and is the first stone church known to have been built on the island, partly for religious reasons and partly as a mini fort into which the locals could crowd for safety when there was a local war in progress. Simple geometric stained glass windows let in light and create colourful patterns on the floor during my visit. The church has the oldest Estonian stone carvings in the German Gothic style. As we zoom in, you can see that this represents a death scene with the souls of the dead coming out of their mouths and being taken into heaven by the angels. Near the church is a communal smokehouse for preserving fish and venison, the latter being rare since the Russian occupation.
We leave the small harbour and what has really been a side trip, there not being much to attract the tourists to the island of Saarema. Much of our time off-ship was spent travelling in coaches. Onward now to Riga in Latvia, with a late afternoon and overnight sail to get there.